Hello, everyone. Welcome again to another Travel Talk Live with the Travel Crew. I am Tabitha, owner of the Travel Crew, where we create phenomenal experiences for phenomenal people. It is Thursday, or as I always say, Friday Eve. I hope everyone's having a great Friday. I know this is about to be a big weekend for a lot of people. If you celebrate Easter, tomorrow is Good Friday, leading into Resurrection Sunday. So I'm still happy that you found the time to join us. Does everybody have that menu ready or anything like that? We're having a family dinner, so I'm really excited about that. Um, Go ahead and tell me hi in the comments. I would love to see who's out there. And if you are catching this on the replay, go ahead and put replay in the comments just so I know who's catching me on a replay. Thank you so much again for taking the time to join me. You may be joining me from, we got three different platforms that we're broadcasting to. We have the Travel Crew Facebook business page, or you may be joining us on our new YouTube channel, trying to build that one. If you want to check us out on YouTube, just look for the Travel Crew. And also, we have our Facebook group, which is the Travel Crew Travel Talk Facebook group. And just doing a little housekeeping, I know I tell you all this many times. If you're in the Facebook group, above my video that's playing, you'll see a link, and you can click there to register your name. That way I can see who's actually talking to me. If you don't do that, all I get is that it comes across and it says Facebook user, made a comment. And if you want to do that, that's fine. Just go ahead and just tell me who it is. And in that way, because I like to give you your credit. So I see Dawn is here. Thank you so much for joining, Dawn. I appreciate it. And thank you everyone who is joining us. Like I said, we're in the Facebook group, we're on the Facebook business page, and we also have a YouTube channel, which has replays of these videos as well as other videos. I have some tips, some reviews, a little shorts, and more stuff is coming. So we're trying to build up that YouTube channel. Again, like I said, go ahead and put a hi in the comments. And if you're watching this on replay, put replay so I know how many people are catching me on the replay. And if you don't know who I am Tabitha, owner of the Travel Crew, where we create phenomenal experiences for phenomenal people. And again, we're going to go ahead and get into our live tonight with on this beautiful Friday's Eve, as I call it. So this is my thing that I wanted to share with y'all. I own a travel business, and y'all, my passport is about to expire. My passport expires a little later on in the year, but the reason why I wanted to renew it is I went to Dubai for New Year's, got back in January. I'm leaving again to go somewhere in June. I am hosting our cruise, our Alaska cruise, and we stopping off in Canada. That's one of the spots. It's highly recommended that you bring your passport on these cruises. It's not mandatory, but it's highly, strongly recommended. And one of the reasons being that when you get off port in Canada, should something happen and you end up in Canada, you're going to need your passport to get back. But of course, I can get on a ship, but I'll need like birth certificate and all this stuff. But I was trying to get my passport. Anyway, that passport has been sitting there as a to be done stat forever since I got back in January. And I finally, y'all, it's the last week of March, and I finally got to it. Now, you may be saying, well, if it doesn't expire before your trip, what's the big deal? You should know that when you have a passport, that if you're traveling out of the country, your passport can't be expiring within 6 months of your departure from the trip, or actually the return of the trip. I think that's how it goes. One of the two. I'm sorry, I can't remember off the top of my head. So if you're leaving the country, let's say your passport expires in October, and next week you're headed to Europe or whatever. Not next week, because next week it wouldn't make it. Let's say for June, you're going to go somewhere out of the country. You couldn't go, even though your passport's expiring in October, because it's within 6 months. And that causes a problem. So you need to get your passport renewed ahead of time. So all those people that have a passport, Drop a P in the comment that you have your passport. I want to know who has their passport. And then also, if you have a passport, I need you, whether you do it on while I'm live, you pick up your phone and tablet and go to your special spot that you have your passport, or you do it after we finish. I need you to go check the expiration date on your passport. And if it expires this year, you need to start making moves to get that passport renewed. Now, keep in mind that to get a passport renewal, it can take some time. There was a serious lag in passport renewals during, the height of COVID, the height of the pandemic and stuff. And so people were taking like months and months and months. It's picked up since then, but I don't want to take the risk. So I just want to get it done and get it over with. I was going to give some insight into what the process is. So it was a little different for me because when I got my passport originally, I went to a government office, local government office. I filled out the app. They took my picture right then and there. I paid them right then and there, and bam, they sent it off. This time, that particular office, since COVID, they stopped doing it. They're not taking the pictures, and the process is different. So I went online, and this is why I wanted to share with y'all. So, I'm making sure that y'all are ready, that y'all are travel ready, travel crew ready. Because, travel crew members, we always have our passports together. That's how we do it. All right. So you need to go to state.gov. I put you can look at the bottom of the screen. That's where you need to go to get your renewal. There, you go through your links and stuff. And when you click, you can actually now, I filled out a form originally when I got my passport, but now you can just go ahead and put in your information and it fills out the form and you print it out. Okay. So you want to do that. You'll have to sign a few things or whatever, and you're going to have to supply your picture. I went to Walgreens because I know they do passport pictures. I'm sure I know there's other places that do it, but Walgreens does them. And so I have my passport picture done. I have my application, and now I have to mail it off with my payment of $130. That's how much it costs to renew your passport. Now, some of you may be like, oh my God, $130. Y'all, it's good for 10 years. So when you break it down, it's only $13 a year. If you want to break it down by month, it's a little more than $1 a month for 10 years. I think it's worth it, especially when you get in all the beautiful places that you can see. So I want everybody, if you have a passport, remember, you need to check the expiration date on your passport. And if it is expiring this year in 2024, I need you to go ahead and start making the steps. You want to go ahead and look at the address at the bottom of the screen that I have right there, and go ahead and renew your passport. See, real simple. I just wanted to make sure that you were travel ready because I am not travel ready. And that's really sad because I'm hosting a trip, but it's all good. I mean, it's not gonna affect it. Okay, I got my Facebook user. Don't know who it is, but thank you for tuning in. They said they have a passport that is still valid until 2030. Okay, well, that's good. Somebody got that passport during COVID. I'm not mad at you. That's good. 2030. That's good. That means you have lots of travel crew trips that you can come on. But thank you for knowing when it expires. Everybody should know when their passport expired. So my people that are renewing, I'm good. I'm glad. So let's talk about some other things so that you can be travel ready. I have mentioned this many times before. And the reason why I keep mentioning it is because the date keeps getting pushed back. And that is the real ID. That's another thing I'm working on this year. That's because my driver's license is expiring and I'm just going to go ahead and renew it with a real ID. If you have a real ID, go ahead and put ID in the comments. If you're not sure if you have a real ID, if you look at your driver's license, there's a star on there. Dawn says she has yours. All right, girl. So for those that don't know, the driver's license that we have been used to, they're changing it. The date of when it was going to go into effect has been pushed back so many times. First, it was discrepancies in Congress about what states wanted to go along with it. And then it finally got a date happened or was set, and then COVID hit. And they just kept pushing back the date. And so that's really just it was really that pandemic getting offices together, and then still some battles between states, not really between states, but states with the government saying I don't want to do this and blah blah blah. Anyway, as I checked last February 2025 is when it's supposed to go into effect. So what this is it's some, and you can read about it, just look up real ID. It's an enhanced driver's license. You're going to use this, you're going to need it to fly domestically. You still need your passport to fly internationally, but you're going to need this real ID to fly domestic, for domestic flights. If you don't have it, you will be expected to have a driver's license and a passport. So see, you got to get a passport anyway. But every state in the United States is expected to have a real ID. It will have a star near it. Now, to do that, and if it's time to renew your license, you can't just in fact, I got mine in the mail saying to go ahead and renew it, and I could just pay and sign, and they'll send me a new license. I'm not going to do that, because to get the real ID, you actually have to go to the DMV. You actually need proof of it. I know it's a birth certificate. You're going to, of course, have to have that proof of address. I think they might take a social security card also, but you're going to need a government issued proof of identification. Then you got to prove your address, that kind of thing. And so it's kind of like, I guess, when you first got your driver's license, that's the process that you're going to have to go through to get the real ID. Then from there, I'm pretty sure you'll have your renewal privileges. But everybody needs to get the real ID before February 2025. So if you are needing to renew your license before then, that's a perfect time. If your license is not up for renewal before then you need to start working on when you're going to have that license renewed. So that's just something to keep in mind. It will affect your travel, and you won't be travel ready. So everybody wants to be travel ready, right? All right. So before we go on to the next one, I'm just recapping. We said 1, everybody needs to go get that passport renewed. 2, everybody needs to get ready to get the real ID. I see some people coming in. If you are joining me, we're talking about being travel ready. And I am Tabitha with the Travel Crew. Go ahead. If you're just joining in, feel free to say hi. I appreciate you joining me. So we talked about renewing the passport. We talked about the real ID. What's next on the list? Okay, these are for my people that have been sitting quietly and don't have a passport at all. Okay, you heard me talk about renewing a passport, but I want to know, I'm not going to call you out like that. I'm going to let you answer silently to yourself. Who doesn't have a passport yet? You all know that I'm always pushing for everybody to get their passport. So if you don't have your passport, that needs to be on your to-do list. It's time to get a passport, y'all. So if you're not sure how to get a passport, it's the same deal. You want to go to state.gov, okay, right there at the bottom of the screen. Same thing. And it will walk you through the process. If there's an application to fill out, they will walk you through every piece of material that you need to provide, getting your picture, all of that. And it's also going to be the $130 that I mentioned that takes with the renewal process. It's called a passport book, if you don't know. You'll have the option. They'll say, do you want a passport book or a passport card? You want a passport book. The difference between a passport book and card, a passport card, what it is it is used for travel, basically staying on a continent. So if you're going, you can use it to go to Mexico, you can use it to go to Canada, and it's useful on cruise ships that leave out of the United States. That's usually acceptable as well as for getting on the ship. But it's not going to let you go other places. So if you're hitting up other continents, you're going to need a passport. So you're going to apply for a passport book. Make sure that you know that. Okay. You want to go through the application, and they'll walk you through everything to do and getting your picture secured in that. Like I said, when I first got my passport, the local government office that I went to those that live in Louisiana, I'm in Jefferson Parish. And so I went to the Yenny building in Jefferson Parish. for those that are outside of Louisiana, check your county. Um, if your county or your city has an office that you can go to. I believe in the city of New Orleans, it's downtown where the main post office is. I believe the passport office is in there. So we want everybody to get your passport. So if you have questions about this, feel free to drop them in the comments section. But go ahead, y'all. And if you've been hesitant about getting a passport, put that in the comments. Let me know why, you've been hesitant about getting it, and let me see if I can answer some questions, okay? So right now, we know some of us need to renew our passport or at least check the expiration date to make sure that our passport isn't expiring soon. We know that some of us need to go ahead and prepare to get the real ID. And then some of us who don't have a passport are going to go ahead and apply for their passport very, very, very soon so they can be travel ready. So looking in the comments, somebody else said hi. That's in the Facebook group. Hi. Like I said, all I have is, it says Facebook user. If you want to put your name in your comment, I appreciate it. And also there's a little link to those that are in the group that says register. And then that way I'll see your name. Okay. So now we're going to move on to the last thing. And I've also said this before as well, to be travel ready. Out of my people that are here, that are on tonight, if you're brave enough, let me know if you have global entry. Put a G in the comments if you have global entry. I'm hoping somebody has put a G in the comments, okay? And let me just give you a brief recap of global entry. So, oh, hey, Nicole. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. All right. So I want everybody to be global ready, travel ready, and to get global entry. So those who don't know what global entry is, I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sure I'm giving you the right price. Give me 1 second. All right. Yeah, it hasn't changed. Just wanted to make sure before I gave you information that wasn't correct. Okay, so with global entry, what that does is that's something you need when you travel internationally. It helps you go through customs, okay? Some people may be like, oh, I've never had problems going through customs. I don't need it. Yeah, but then you're going to hate it that one time you do have problems. So global entry, what it is, it registers you with the United States. And when you land anywhere internationally, as soon as you touch base in the United States, so let's say I'm flying from New Orleans and I went to Paris, but I touched down in Charlotte before I come back to New Orleans. When I touch down in Charlotte, I'm going to have to go through customs. Now, depending on how many people touch down around the same time, the customs line may be long, the customs line may be short. It can, let me see, I can't remember where I was, but I touched down one time when a huge group from China touched down at the same time, and I had a connecting flight. And I think like I had an hour between the flight, and I was pushing it, trying to go through customs and get to the flight. Because when you go through customs, your luggage is coming down, and you really have to like recheck your bags again after you come through customs, because they're scanning and everything, and then you recheck your bag to get onto your connecting flight. When you have global entry, you bypass a lot of that. You go through, your face is in the system, and I know that might freak out some people, like a big brother fear effect, but it really scans your face. And the first time I did it, it was crazy because it scanned my face and said, "Welcome back, Tabitha," and I was like, okay. But it does save online. So it really is a convenience thing. The other bonus to global entry is you get TSA PreCheck with it. So I know some people, they sign up for TSA PreCheck. I feel like skip that. Don't apply for TSA PreCheck. Take it a step up, level up, and apply for global entry. And that way you get 2 for the price of 1. So what is the price? The price is $100. $100. If that bothers you, let's break it down. That's $100 for 5 years. Okay, that's $20 a year. That's less than $2 a month. I'm just trying to break it down so you can see how reasonable it is. You want to go ahead and get global entry. If you've never traveled internationally, or if you are international traveler, you should realize how beneficial that is. So I do it. I try to get everybody that goes on the travel crew trips to go with me. Some do, some don't. I did have more when we went to Dubai that signed up for it. So it really helps. Drusilla said, yes, I have global entry and love it. Thank you, Drusilla. See, I'm telling you, if you ever want to feel bougie, just get global entry. You know, it'll tap into your inner bougie as you walk by everybody waiting in line and you move on with your life. So that's the way I try to do it. Try to like buck myself up that I'm special because I went through global entry. Also with TSA pre-check, I feel so good that I don't have to take off my shoes. So it's something to consider. So I really want you to get global entry. I know some people have asked, I haven't seen it in the comments, but I've been asked before, should they get TSA pre-check or global entry if they have clear? Let me emphasize that clear is only, as far as I know, I think it's only US based, as well as TSA pre-check, just so you know, that's US based too. They don't do TSA pre-check in other countries. That's a US thing. Just a little added bonus talking about clear. I know some people use clear, and that's kind of like an expedited service similar to TSA pre-check. I had clear for a week. I had it because of my credit card, had a discount for it. And I was like, well, let me try it. For me personally, it didn't do anything. I think it really depends on what airport your home base airport is. For New Orleans airport, it really isn't that much of a difference because I do have it's not that much of a difference with TSA pre-check. Okay, so I had TSA pre-check, and if you ever stood in line when a clear person comes, a clear person has priority. Let's go with that. Priority over a TSA pre-check, whereas you could be next in line in the TSA pre-check, but a clear person can come in front of you. It's not going to be like they're out of hand or anything because they're escorted to the desk to the desk to show, their boarding pass and all that. It just wasn't that big of a deal with me. And somewhere like ATL in that airport, it probably is more of an effect to have clear. Just in New Orleans, I was like, why am I paying for this? It wasn't even that big of an issue. And so it was just, even with the discount, I was like, it wasn't worth it for me. If you get it free, I know there's some levels of credit cards that offer it free. I would go ahead and get it free. And if I'm in one of those airports that you can considerably see that the clear line is much shorter than the TSA pre-check line, I would go ahead and do it as well. You need to know that clear is not in every airport. I know it's in the one in New Orleans. It's in the one in Atlanta. I'm going to assume it's most likely in New York, LA. It's not everywhere. So that's just something to consider. So before you even look into clear, make sure that your home airport has it. That's number one. And then make sure that you see if it's going to make a difference. It may or may not make a difference, but that's your choice. But the whole thing is to get travel ready. So I'm not going to hold you long. I just wanted to touch base and make sure everyone knew what they needed to be travel ready. So just to recap, okay. And I'm so happy that all of you joined. I see people coming in. And I'm just going to recap the platform so everybody can join in, just so you know. I have the Facebook business page. There is the Facebook group, and also there's the YouTube page. And I see that I have people on all three, so this is great. So if you're ever in a situation like you can't watch it on this one, there's 2 other platforms that you can jump on. And I do ask that y'all go check out the YouTube channel just to build it up. Like and subscribe. I would love that. So we're going to recap how you can be travel ready. 1, if you already have a passport, when this call finishes, you're going to go ahead, you're going to look at your passport, you're going to see the expiration date. If your passport is expiring in the year 2024, you're going to go ahead and you're going to go to that address that you see at the bottom of the screen, and you're going to go ahead and start your renewal process. And if you don't have your passport yet, but you really should if you're part of the travel crew, you know, we got to have the passport. Come on, people. You're going to still go to that and you're going to sign up for the passport for your first time. You're going to go ahead and follow the steps and get things done. If ever you have a question about how to do it or what you should do, feel free to drop a comment in the group, in the Facebook page, send me an email, whatever it is, feel free, and I'll be happy to answer it. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to get ready to have your real ID for 2025. If you're not sure if you have a real ID, once again, when we finish with this, go look at your driver's license. If you see that star on it, you're good to go. If you don't see the star on it, and if the government doesn't change the date again, then February 2025 is when you need to have your license in effect. Instead of renewing your license through the state, like in the mail, because a lot of us get that offer, go ahead. You're going to have to go into the DMV. I know. Nobody loves going to the DMV, but you're going to have to make that trip to the DMV to get yourself set up with a real ID. And that does affect your travel, believe it or not. You are going to have that enhanced ID in the future for travel. So go ahead and get that out the way. And the other thing that I want you to do is, if you have your passport, or once you get your passport, for those people that are going to go ahead and apply, you need to sign up for global entry. And the site to get your global entry is right there at the bottom. You're going to go ahead and sign up for global entry. And you know what, guys? I gave you the benefits of having global entry, but I forgot to tell you the process. So once you apply for global entry, and I apologize for not walking you through the process, you're going to fill out the application. They're going to notify you. They're going to send you an email telling you that your application has been received or whatever. And then they will notify you and let you know that you need to set up your appointment. And they'll give you at a time and all of this stuff. Most of the time, I've heard a few people that have not been able to get appointments at their home airport, and they've had to go elsewhere to get it, meaning like drive elsewhere. I got mine during a slow time during COVID, because I was like, nobody's really out there. And I was able to get an appointment really easily at MSY, which is the New Orleans airport, Louis Armstrong Airport. But I know some people, the wait time was months and months to get an appointment for an interview for global entry. And so they opted to go to a different airport. Some people take the journey if they really, really are on their way somewhere and they want global entry. And then also, so you know that if an appointment does not fit you, when you go on your international trip, if your application is in place and stuff, you can actually, at the customs office, when you touch, you can go do your interview then. And a lot of people do that. If they can't get an interview before they leave, they get it as soon as they touch base back in the United States and somebody's there to complete your interview. Now, if you're asking what goes on in an interview, it wasn't anything big. Just, you do have to like scan thumbprints, and they scan your eyes and stuff, and they'll just ask like, what was your last trip out of the country? What did you go for? It's nothing major. And like, do you often go here? That kind of thing. So nothing to concern yourself with that is something like, you need to study for, anything like that. You just need to show up, answer their questions, and then they start doing like the finger scans, eye scans, and things like that. So it's not that bad of a process. But the appointments do fill up. That's another reason why you want to go ahead and sign up for global entry and get it in and get it done. So hopefully I've answered questions, or if you have thoughts about it, like you thought about it and you weren't sure what it would take, that's that. So if you have some questions, go ahead and put them in the comments, or if you want to just make a comment, I'm all ready for that. Thank you, Regina. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining too. So, y'all, I came back. I told you I was going to come back to doing these lives. So I hope you like them. I'm glad I'm back. I like hearing from y'all. I like to hear that what I'm doing is benefiting you. So I know y'all are anxious. You're like, when is something going to come up so you can decide? It's coming, y'all. I promise it's coming. So, but to make sure that you always are the first to hear, you know that you need to keep following us on in the group, on the page. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Facebook group. We are on YouTube. YouTube mostly has our tips and videos and stuff, but there is some stuff there. And if you really want to make sure that you are the first to hear when something pops off, you need to go right here. You see it at the bottom, thetravelcrew.com, join crew. That is the best place to go ahead and sign up and you getting on our list, because I do drop stuff to the list before I drop it to everybody else. So I'm just letting you know. Plus, think about it. Think, especially, I don't know what's going on with Facebook. Have y'all noticed that y'all get notifications for something that happened like last week? And I don't know. So they're kind of behind on the notification. So you don't necessarily always want to depend on that. Email, you know, it's coming into your box. So there's all different ways. And of course, you can always stop by the website as well, thetravelcrew.com. So I hope that I have answered everybody's question. I hope everybody takes these tips. And when I check back, you got your passport. If you already had it, you got your passport renewed or the application in place. Let's see, you got your global entry application done, and you already got your plans on how you're going to get that real ID, because I know y'all want to be travel ready. Okay, so thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Regina, Nicole, Deborah, Treese, Dawn, and whoever my Facebook users are. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Make sure that you stay safe this weekend. Don't stand too close to the boil as you boil your crawfish for the weekend. I'm just acting silly, y'all. Please enjoy Good Friday. Enjoy Resurrection Sunday. To those that celebrated, many blessings to you and blessings to you and your family. And I will see you next week, guys. Take care.